Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Book Bandit vlog. What is your average lifetime sourcing cost per book, or your cost of goods, or COGS, as many refer to it within the biz? I was curious about this number based upon, well, overall curiosity, but based upon some comments I saw recently on some of my videos. I just wanted to see how much I was spending, or how much I had been spending since I started the business back in 2014. So I did an average of everything I spent. Now this is on the items that I sold, not on every single item that I sourced. I'm just going to give you the number for the ones that I actually sold, which I think is probably more important because those are ones that I actually sold, and those are the ones that made you money, and the ones that you sourced correctly, well, for the most part, that were worth sourcing and worth spending the money, assuming, of course, that you built in plenty of profit. So for me, lifetime average cost per book, sourcing cost per book of the books that I sold was 94 cents. Just books, only books, 94 cents. So I was pleasantly surprised that I got under $1, because I know I always say $1 or less on average, and it turned out that I was correct. Now, for all items that I've ever sold, so this includes books, CDs, VHS tapes, video games, books on tape, and miscellaneous things that I've sold, actually went up a little bit to $1 and a penny. So $1 and a penny of all the items that I've ever sourced that sold. Not much of a difference there between the books and everything else. So I was glad though for books that I was 94 cents. I was hoping that it wouldn't be over $1. My preaching has made sense over these many months now about staying within hopefully $1 or less, and that's what I've been doing. For it to be 94 cents, that means that there's plenty that I have sourced for just over $1. Not too many in the $2 range, more like the $1, $1.25, $1.50 range, not the $1.50 to $2 range. This is important information because when we're out there sourcing and we're looking on our apps, looking books up and deciding whether we want to buy that book, we need to not only know if the book is going to sell, period, within a decent period of time, but also, is there enough profit there? Can it sell, and can it sell for good return on your investment? So what is the ROI going to be? Is it only going to be 100%, or is it going to be 1,000% or 10 times your money? So that's what I'm shooting for, is at least 8 to 10 times my money. I'm happy with 3 or 4 times, especially if it sells really quickly, but I want 8 to 10 times or more for longer tail books and other items. So if it's going to sit there for over 3 months at least, I want to be making about 8 to 10 times my money at least. You need to know what's going to sell, what your profit is, and also built into the potential profit is what you're spending on the book. So when I'm out there sourcing, I'm taking all that into consideration, looking at the app. So I know, first of all, what the books are going for, right? Either they have a set price, 50 cents for softcover, $1 for hardback, something like that, or they have it written on each individual book and it's different for each one. So it depends on the thrift store. Again, this is different if it's an estate sale or yard sale, and usually at a book sale, the prices are set. Frequently 50 cents and $1, or $1 and $2 for the softcover and hardcover at book sales. So I know as I'm scanning and looking through the books, I'm planned all that, built all of that into the equation. So the money is made when you're sourcing, right? The money is literally made when the sale is made, assuming there's profit there. But you need to know from when you buy it, source a book, until it finally sells down the road, hopefully sooner than later at Amazon. You need to know when you're sourcing those types of things, how much it costs to source, when is it going to sell likely, and how much profit is in it. So a big part of the return on investment and profit is the sourcing cost. So if you know that you're keeping around $1 or less, then you know where you need to be selling books to make the kind of profit you want. If you want to be making 10 times your profit always, then you're going to have to, if you're buying books for $2, you're going to have to sell books for a lot more. So a book that sells for $20, you get paid around $14, and if you spend $1, then that's great. That's over 10 times. If you spent $2 or $3, then it's getting a little bit closer. So you get my point, is you need to know these numbers, have these numbers in your head when you're out there. The scanning app will help you find the books and decide based upon the information if it's good to buy, if it's a good investment. Because that's what these are. Each individual item, each book is an investment that you're trying to make money off of. It's like you're buying a little stock or a mutual fund and for $1, $2, and seeing the kind of return you can get on that stock or that mutual fund. So think of it in that way. You're investing in these books and other items, and you want them to pay off at some point. The sooner the better, unless it's going to pay off a lot down the road. You want to have all of that, take all that in consideration, and your sourcing cost and knowing where you're averaging and what you're comfortable with and what your range is really good. I know for me, I like to say $1 and under. If it goes up to $1.50 or $2, then I need to be selling the book for closer to $20 at least. I rarely spend $3 on a book unless it's going for more than $20. If it's selling for $20 and it'll sell pretty quick, then I don't mind spending $3, but that's rare. Usually I want $25 to $30 for a book that I'm spending $3 on. So that's for me. So everyone's different. Everyone has their different parameters. You have to find out where you're comfortable. I was really into the long tails in the beginning because I was hearing a lot of people talk about them. But once I got 6 months, 8 months into FBA and I started seeing that a lot of my stuff was sitting there, not selling, I got anxious. And so I slowly started to get better at sourcing and figuring out that I like to sell a lot of stuff faster, but also have a certain percentage of my books be long tail. It's a smaller percentage than I initially thought. Whereas in the beginning I thought, oh, I want a lot of my books to be long tail so I can make these big profits. I've always been selling books for great profit, the long tail, but I prefer to sell probably 60, 70% of my books quicker, not necessarily super quick, like a few days or 2 or 3 weeks, but at least within 3 months. And then the rest of them, the other 30, 40%, I'm willing to wait 3 to 9 months, hopefully not as long as a year unless it's going to pay a lot of money. But I like to sell my books within hopefully 9 months. Again, everyone has their parameters and their comfort zone. And if you're just starting, you'll have to figure that out as you go. Maybe you already know that you don't want to wait a long time to sell books. So you might source books that are quicker sellers and send in very few long tails. But the longer that you're in the business, the more I recommend, or if you plan on doing this for a while, at least 3, 4, 5 years, then you're going to want to build in long tail because they'll start selling regularly every month, and then every week you'll be having long tail sales for good money if you're picking the right books. But sourcing costs plays into all of that. So it's important, I think, to know where your comfort zone is with sourcing costs and what your average has been to know realistically what you've been spending. I've read some people commenting on my videos saying that where they lived, it's a little more expensive, like $2 or up for books, which to me is crazy. But if you're finding books that you can still build plenty of profit into, let's say 5 to 8 or more times your money, you have to spend more money to get the books, but if you can sell them, then it's still going to be good profit. So I'm curious to hear if you guys know what your average is, if you've kept that number or you have the stats in software, spreadsheet, or whatever it may be. Because to me, it was fascinating to see that I was just under $1. So that was pretty cool. Different topic, I dropped off another shipment this morning of 49 items. Going to one warehouse in state again. So I keep on getting one warehouse with the 49 or less items. They're all books. This last one, the previous one on Friday was a few CDs, but this one was only books. As long as I keep it within CDs, books, and VHS tapes, and it's at 49 or less, it seems that I go to only one warehouse. I have a few more books, probably like 20 or so, and a couple of CDs. So not quite enough for a big shipment, a 49 item shipment, but I'm going sourcing tomorrow or today when you're watching this. So I should have some more stuff to send in for another shipment this week. Another thing I'm doing is I'm going to try to get rid of a lot of the CDs, the dud CDs I couldn't send into Amazon. So I'm going to try to see if I can make a little bit of money off of those. Hopefully the start of your week is going well. It's June 13th when I'm making this. So we're almost halfway through June, just like that. A couple days from the middle of June. And then in a couple weeks we'll be in July. And guys, for a lot of people, the book buying season back to school starts in July. They start to feel it about mid-July. So in about a month or so, you might start to see some more school-related book sales. Really close here. And then August hits, and we're about 2 months from the craziness of August. And if you haven't been through it, based upon my experience last year, it's a lot of fun and kind of overwhelming at the same time in a good way. And I find that when your sales go up crazy, to a crazy amount, it makes you want to send more stuff in. It's a win-win situation. While we're having these crazy sales and we can't believe it, all the sales that we're making, we're going to want to get out there and get more stuff to send in, especially once the August to September is going like crazy and there's all these books that are selling. We're going to want to send more stuff in for the holidays and then again for January. So it's August to January is sort of a crazy sprint. And then you take a breath for about 4 or 5 months to build up again for it. So it's coming soon and it's going to be fun. And as always, remember, keep booking.